It's Wednesday, March 25, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. Students gearing up to sit this year's 11 Plus exam will have more time to prepare. Today, Education Minister Cynthia Bradshaw announced that the test originally scheduled for May will be held on June 2nd, and that's dependent on whether the school term opens on April 14.
We may not, but from the outset, I think I want people to be aware that we will take steps to postpone the examination. And in the first instance, if we can start on the 14th of April, we're saying we're going to give persons enough time to be able to reintegrate into the learning environment once we get the all clear to be able to go back into school. I don't think any of us can say what is going to happen in the next couple of days or weeks, but I think just as the CXC has been doing as well and all across the world, everyone is just, taking it in stages. The first stage is to give people the comfort that they're not going to be under the pressure that they may ordinarily have been under in order to be able to sit the exam while having to deal with COVID-19 and all that it brings with it. But at the same time, the ministry has to continue to plan as the dynamics constantly change as well.
Minister Bradshaw added that there's no information on changes to the CXC timetable. She promised to keep students up to date. In the meantime, she assured that her ministry is preparing to ensure that students can receive virtual instruction.
2 weeks ago, we started to retrain our IT coordinators in the schools to ensure that they were equipped to be able to set up the email addresses for our teachers, those who didn't have them, to be able to make sure that any questions that they had in terms of being able to deliver instruction online, that those were answered. And even with the limitation of numbers presently, we're having classes conducted online for our teachers. So while our physical classes are not taking place, behind the scenes, the Ministry of Education is being very proactive in ensuring that the teachers actually have the necessary support systems in place to teach in a different environment.
The Inter-American Development Bank has moved swiftly to make crucial budgetary support available to Barbados as government continues efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19. Today, IDB country representative and Prime Minister Mia Mottley signed the contract for a US $80 million policy-based loan, which was approved by the IDB Group Board of Directors just 2 weeks ago on March 11. The financing will help to strengthen public policies related to sustainability, disaster risk and resilience, and affords government the flexibility to focus on priority areas. The ban on all petrol-based plastic bags remains on for Wednesday, April 1. Today, Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy Minister Kurt Humphrey issued a reminder to consumers and retailers while praising the response of key groups to the initiative. He expressed satisfaction that a number of businesses are no longer using plastic bags and is even more pleased that manufacturers have been able to generate new products that are not petroleum-based. According to Humphrey, they have made plastics from cornstarch and other organic compounds, which he describes as a major win for Barbados. A man who went missing at Little Bay St. Lucie on Tuesday is yet to be found. Personnel from the Police Marine Unit and others have been searching the waters to locate 40-year-old Julian Maurice Clark of Josie Hill, St. Lucie, who went swimming yesterday. He was in the company of 3 men. Investigations are continuing.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
To regional developments in Guyana, the ongoing court case blocking the Guyana Elections Commission from making the much-anticipated declaration of this month's general and regional elections hits a snag. Here is more in this report from Jovan Vickery of HGP TV News.
The decision as to whether or not General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Bar Jagnew, will have his request of the Statement of Polls in District 4 granted has now been put on hold. Justice Franklin Holder was scheduled to make a decision on Tuesday, but recent developments have halted the decision. Justice Holder in the matter explained that before he can grant the request of Jagnew, he first needs to deal with the issue of jurisdiction, which arose during arguments on Tuesday. Defense attorney representing Jagdio's senior counsel Douglas Mendez raised the issue that the court did not have jurisdiction to hear the case involving Yulita Moore. Moore is the applicant who was granted several interim orders to stop the Guyana Elections Commission from granting permission for a national recount of ballots, which was to be supervised by a high-level team from the Caribbean community. Representing the interests of Moore, attorney-at-law Mayo Robertson explained that senior counsel Mendez will have up to Wednesday to make submissions. Defense will make submissions 24 hours after.
The matter of the SOPs was reserved and deferred because the judge thought it was important to resolve the issue of the jurisdiction before he decided whether or not to deal with the issue of the SOPs.
What were the underlying arguments where jurisdiction is concerned?
I guess you're going to have to ask Mr. Mendez and his team for that, yes.
But do you have any objections to that?
Of course we do. We firmly believe that this court has jurisdiction. That's why we brought the action here in the first place.
Senior counsel Neil Boston, representing the interests of the Guyana Elections Commission, explained that on Friday, parties involved in the case will return before Justice Holder. He added that defense for GCOM will also need time to review the arguments.
It will be waste of time if I come after the jurisdiction issue is completed and I find that I don't have jurisdiction. We would have wasted all the time on this discovery, which has flown from Yulita Moore's application. So it was agreed that Mr. Mendez will file his arguments on jurisdiction by 2 o'clock tomorrow, and Yulita Moore lawyers will file a response by 2 o'clock on Thursday, and then we will come on Friday at 9:30 a.m.
On the international scene in Canada, Fire Chief and General Manager of Emergency Management for the City of Toronto, Matthew Pegg, announced today that the city will begin issuing fines of up to $5,000 to individuals who continue to use closed city amenities such as parks and playgrounds. It's all part of moves to contain COVID-19. There are now 319 cases of the virus in Toronto.
Today, Mayor John Tory announced that all amenities located within city-owned parks are being closed in an effort to enhance social distancing and to slow the spread of COVID-19. This is a difficult yet necessary decision that is being made in the best interest of public health and safety. The closure of these amenities is effective immediately. Over the next few days, signage will be placed at all of the city's more than 1,500 parks, amenities, and playgrounds across Toronto to ensure that the public is aware of these closures. Where fencing or gates exist, they will be locked. Unfenced playground structures will be signed and taped off. By way of summary, effective today, all amenities in city-owned parks are closed. City-owned playgrounds are closed. Picnic sites and park shelters are closed. Soccer, multi-use fields, and baseball diamonds are closed. Off-leash dog parks and trails are closed. Basketball courts are closed. Parking lots associated with city-owned parks are closed.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.